He's a precious son. He's a gold. He's a precious stone to Akpabio. He's a precious stone to the women of Niger Delta. So we are telling Natasha.
Women protesting in Akpabio State against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, saying she should leave Senator Godswill Akpabio alone because he is their brother. Yes, politics is tribal, but why are these women not concerned whether what Natasha said is true or not? Whether truly Senator Godswill Akpabio sexually harassed her, whether she suffered any trauma as a result of that. Any reasonable and fair-minded person must demand that this matter, the Senate or other agencies must get to the root of the matter. Yes, it's a serious allegation, and now that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has said that she has concrete evidence to nail Godswill Akpabio. We'll come back to that in a moment. This is what everyone should be demanding right now, just like Senator Saraki made yesterday. He demanded that Senator Godswill Akpabio step down like he did during his time as Senate President to face the Ethics Committee. If he's truly not guilty, he shouldn't be afraid of stepping down and allowing the Deputy Senate President to preside when the Ethics Committee completes their investigation. That's the normal thing to do. And considering the fact that this is not the first time this man has been accused of sexual harassment, Nigerians must demand that they get to the root of the matter. The number 3 citizen in Nigeria is expected to be of a certain character, despite the fact that the bar might be too low for them in APC, considering the kind of characters that are in many positions under this administration. Nigerians must still demand that these allegations are investigated transparently and to make sure that justice is done at the end of the day. Another interesting observation about Natasha's sexual harassment allegation against Godswill Akpabio is that many of the people that are defending Akpabio against Senator Natasha seem to be ladies. Is that a coincidence? Women can't even back their fellow gender.
And I'm only here as chairperson of Women Affairs. I want women to know we have to follow the rules of the institution we choose to enter. And that is mostly the point of this visit here. Whether there's sexual harassment between them, they already had personal relationships before they came to the Senate.
All right.
The 3 of us had no relationship with Senator Akpabio before we came.
From Senator Ireti Kingibe, whom Senator Natasha supported when she was facing bullying in the hands of Senator Godswill Akpabio and Wike, to this lady who is a former senator.
You know, the Senate is for the elderly, it's not for the young. It's for people who would have been through life, seen it all, and are willing to just work.
Supposedly seen it all.
Seen it all, supposedly. And work well for the country.
Is it that she doesn't know how to make her argument? How can she say that the Senate is meant for elderly people when the Constitution is very clear on the age limit or the lowest age that can contest for Senate? They always want to use age to intimidate people. They always feel, because I'm older than you, you must respect me, you must tremble at my presence, you must bow at my presence. This is why we can never achieve our full potential in Nigeria, because of this kind of mentality. The current vice president in the United States became a senator in his 30s. So what is she saying? The Senate should not be a retirement home for old politicians. This is a challenge to Nigerian youths. They need to fight and displace these old people. These are people that enjoyed Nigeria when Nigeria was working in the 70s and the 80s. And they have refused to leave the scene. Most of them worked, they were civil servants. Now that they are supposed to be retired, they are still in politics. And they will never leave. You see them using their positions to put their children in power. You see some, they have their sons in State House of Assemblies. Some have their daughters in House of Reps. Even in the judiciary, you see many who are already in the Supreme Court, but they have their children at the lower courts or their relatives. So if Nigerian youths don't fight to displace these people, their mentality and domination will continue to hold this country down. And none of them are even talking about the sexual harassment allegation. They're only talking about the rules she broke in the Senate. Yes, that's a different matter. If she broke the rules, already she's going to face the disciplinary committee. If she's found wanting, let them punish her. But this sexual allegation must be investigated. Nigerians must demand that this must be investigated. They don't need to cover it up. No wonder only ladies are out defending Senator Godswill Akpabio. Imagine, ladies that are supposed to defend their own gender, at least demand an investigation to know if it is a lie. In fact, if it is a lie, it will be worse for Senator Natasha, because making wrong accusations against someone, especially when it involves sexual harassment, is a huge crime on its own. Also, some people are already spreading the narrative that Natasha wants to blackmail Akpabio without providing any evidence. So you can see the pattern at play here. They are spending more energy on trying to discredit the person of Natasha instead of spending that energy in calling for an investigation, a thorough one at that. Also, is it a coincidence that the governor of Akpabio State, who is of the PDP by the way, including the former governor Udom Emmanuel, who is also of the PDP, and many VIPs including Akpabio himself, they all visited Tinubu? What is going on? Now to what Natasha said about the evidence she has against Senator Godswill Akpabio. Remember that Godswill Akpabio's wife filed 2 lawsuits against Senator Natasha demanding billions of naira in damages, that she defamed her husband, blah blah blah. Now Natasha has responded through her lawyer, asking her to stay away. She said, "Stay away from Senator Natasha Akpabio's sexual harassment and intimidation allegation against Senate President Godswill Akpabio to safeguard your sanity and that of your family. Our client is not desirous of calling you out into the unfortunate saga concerning her allegations against the Senate President and wishes that you restrain yourself from delving into the obscene circumstances. While she has tolerated all the harassment from the Senate President, she was constrained to reveal the unfortunate torture and victimization which she has been going through in the red chambers under the hand of the Senate President. Our client has concrete evidence to substantiate her allegations. We will suggest that you leave the defense of the allegations to the Senate President to maintain your sanity and that of your family. Our client remains resolute in the defense of Nigerian women, and as a family woman, she will continue to maintain our common heritage and family values." It's just that people don't have shame anymore, especially people occupying public offices. What this lady would have done was to call her husband close. Hey, before this lady would make this allegation in public, are you sure she's not correct? Did you sexually harass her? This is exactly what she's supposed to demand from her husband. But here we are, she has gone as far as filing a lawsuit against someone that didn't even mention her. How can you file such a lawsuit on behalf of your husband when you are not even the one that was mentioned in the allegation? The jokes write themselves.
I know that he jokes a lot.
Akpabio, right?
Yes. He's fond of making little fun out of everything.
Or would you call it unguarded statements?
Not unguarded, but he loves to make everything light. And you see, when you do that, you become very vulnerable. So it makes him very vulnerable.
This argument is so lame. The fact that Akpabio jokes a lot doesn't mean he shouldn't recognize boundaries, especially when it involves a married woman for that matter. It's excusable that he can joke with unmarried single ladies, but a married woman, that's crossing a lot of boundaries. Besides, if you're a lady watching this, maybe you have experienced this, there are men that are not confident, men that have complex issues. They make sexual advances to women in form of jokes. This is to have a fallback position in case they are rejected. Many people know this. So maybe Akpabio somehow falls into the kind of men that make these kind of advances because they are afraid of being told no, being rejected. So they will say, I was only joking, I didn't really mean it. Anyway, you understand what is going on. The issue is, he should have recognized a boundary once he knows that this lady is a married lady, and the fact that they are even family friends. Yes, this has drawn her husband into the whole matter. He released a statement asking the Senate president to treat his wife with respect. So it's a pity that women are not demanding that a fellow woman who said on national television that she experienced sexual harassment from Godswill Akpabio, they are not demanding justice for her. This is very strange. They are defending the man who is in the eye of the storm, who was accused of sexual harassment. How can this be happening in Nigeria? Are these people living in an alternate reality, so they don't have any sense of justice anymore? Or is it because it's another person? What if they find themselves in the same situation in future? Or is it because all these ladies are married, maybe they are too old for people to make sexual advances to them? Anyway, whatever it is, these women protesting because Akpabio was accused of sexual harassment, what did they do during the hunger protest? Did they come out to protest against hunger?